Beep, 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 beep.
As famed dungeon master Scar once said when plotting to usurp the king, so prepare for the coup of the century. Be prepared for the goofiest bits. Ridiculous planning. Who needs recapping? Decades of feelings destroyed in one streaming. I'm here undisputed. Respect it, salute it. You'll see why this was a bad plan. Yes, my crits and ambitions are bared. Ben's in the DM's chair. Hello. Hey. A little throwback
Beautiful.
for any fans of Homebrew Quest, as is tradition to start the stream with a song. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Beyond Horizon's Edge, the show where we avoid the crushing dullness of everyday life using our two favorite forms of escapism, feelings and friendship. I guess is the. I am probably an unfamiliar face to you guys if you only watch this and don't watch Ben and Declan on a roll, because I am Ben of Ben and Declan on a roll. You might know me from Homebrew Quest as well, or the voice of AJ on Romancing the Dungeon, which is another D8 production. Everyone else you should know and love and recognize because they are your usual cast of players for this stream. But I'm just covering for Declan while he's away having a lovely time post his wedding. Trying to think of some announcements. First up, on a roll, the show that I normally do on this channel is moving to Wednesday this week. It's going to be Wednesday at 7:30, and it's Ben and Paul on a roll. So you might know Paul. He played Randir on Homebrew Quest, but he's also an incredible tech and stream producer. So we're going to be talking all things like setting up streams and teching streams and making sure that you dot your I's and check your ones and zeros. And then there'll be a new episode. As far as I know, there's a new episode of Romancing the Dungeon this Friday. I think it's the penultimate Grover's in the Heart. It's either the second last or the finale, which brings this thrilling season centered around our very own Clodagh Medimoon. You might know as Diara. Brings that to a close. This stream, this channel, this kind of team of people is very kindly partnered and sponsored by Mystery Dice Goblin. I was about to say Mystery Dice Dungeon. Mystery Dice Goblin.
What a collab.
I know. So if you want to get yourself some Mystery Dice or some other TTRPG accessories, head over to Mystery Dice Goblin. And if you use the promo code, almost certain, because I watch these streams, I listen. I'm pretty sure it's just D8. But if D8 doesn't work, use D8 Dungeon. You will get yourself a low discount, and some of that purchasing will get kicked back to us to keep doing things like this and to keep running stuff throughout the year. One of the big things that I can take no credit for, but I can tell you about tonight, is the D8 Dungeon Drive, which is happening on the August bank holiday this year, where it will be, as far as I know, 2 days of just back-to-back, probably not back-to-back, 48 hours of non-stop streaming. I'm sure there will be breaks. We have done 24 hours in a row, but I think this is 2 days of non-stop streaming, different systems, different DMs, different players, a chance for you to get involved. If you've ever wanted to play on a stream, if you ever wanted to DM, just head over to D8's Discord and you'll see all the details you need there. And it is a charity drive. So we'll be fundraising. There'll be ways to interact with the games. If you're watching along, you can donate and affect the worlds as they happen. And all the money raised this year is going to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. So please do get involved if you can. Please do watch along when it comes to the time. Donate as much as you can, whatever. And if you can't donate, just share the news about it. Or if you know people who've been interested, get them involved, because the more people involved, the further it spreads. And that's always good. That's a whistle stop of information in the guts of 5 minutes. So if that doesn't prepare you for the speed in which I speak and the pace in which tonight's show will take place, I don't know what will. Is there anything, does anyone else have any other announcements, things to say? I'm almost certain we're covered, but just in case.
It's QCon this weekend. Come and see me at my table and get infected. Yeah. I'll be at the artist alley, probably crying under the table because I'm not feeling well. But come say hi anyway. Yay.
This Kat is a little under the weather tonight, so and I'm just recovering from a cold, so bear with us as we fever our way through a D&D adventure. But if you're in chat, let us know you're here. If you're watching the VOD, leave us a comment of your favorite moment from tonight's show. Just get involved. All that sweet engagement is good for the robots who push this stuff out to people. I think without further ado, we might kick off, jump straight in. Eilish, I don't know if you're trying to tell me something important. I see you speaking. I do not hear you talking. That's A-okay. I suppose the other thing is if there's any in the real world, if there's any tech stuff, do let us know in chat, because it's always good to catch this stuff. Right. Well, I guess there's no more putting it off. Let's dive into the game and stream proper as I DM for the first time in a long time. All right. We open low on the ground as a chilling fog clings to the edge of buildings, creeps down alleys, and spills across lush training fields near the Summerkeep Guild. Unlike a wayward wind or the ignorant rains that fall to fulfill their predetermined destiny, this fog moves with purpose. It's searching. It's pawing curiously at its surroundings. It's magic in nature, but altogether unnatural. Like an outstretched finger, we see a mystery claw creep the edge of a building past a sign that reads The Old Mare, towards an open window, towards the sound of hushed chattering, crackling fireplaces, and the clinking of glasses. We sweep past the fog towards a huddled group of villagers in the town of Knock, where rumors are being traded like collectible hero cards. Rumors about the fog, where it comes from, and what omens it foretells. We hear a young boy say, I heard it's the soul of a dead god spilling back into the world. Another voice cuts in, it's coming from the doctor's woods. We hear more voices overlapping. The guards went to investigate. They're never coming back. The fog has them now. I heard it's small water droplets suspended in cold air, creating condensation due to a warm breeze meeting a cold front. Someone cuts across. That's mist, you idiot. This is a thick fog. It's witchcraft. It's a cauldron bubbling over endlessly, like when you take your eye off a pot of taters. And this one voice cuts through and says, I don't care what it is. I just want Bernard back. Please, won't someone go find my Bernard? And it's here in the rumor mill that tonight's tale takes place. We see Mooney, Dara, Reggie, and Adam, and we know that you have all been asked to investigate the source of this fog. But before you trundle blindly into its mists, you've come to gather information, as unreliable as it might be, and you begin to ask around. As you wander around the room, is there anyone you can be your own characters. We will cut to the characters we prepared for today's adventure, but if there's anything you want to chat to or do, you can. Otherwise, I'll just plow ahead and stick you on the tracks of the railroad I've created for you all.
I still think Mooney's unconscious.
Fair? Yeah. This can happen.
Did she briefly wake up and then go back unconscious? Was that it? Or is she kind of...
I rolled a 1. I think... I don't know. I'm probably just milling around, but I don't think Mooney has much to say.
Yeah, I think I'm happy to plow ahead if everyone else...
Plow ahead.
Yeah.
Bring out the
not
chair.
knowing where... Not knowing where Declan's going to pick this up from, probably the best, because it might be from the moment of awakening, and we might be some little bit in the future as you go to source investigations. You wander around the room, and you hear first down the edge of the room, mumbled. Well, do you want to know what really happened? Because I saw what really happened. And you all look and you see an old man huddled over his pint like a overachieving nerd protecting their homework from prying eyes. Come here, you all. Yeah. I'll tell you what happened. It was a couple of days earlier. I was out on a morning walk, and the fog wasn't as thick as it is today, but it was building. 3 days earlier, and I saw 4 people. I saw Bernard, and I saw, you know, Sybil, and I saw Ida, and I saw that lad, you know, personality like a plank, basically just a walking piece of furniture. That one. They went in together into the woods to investigate, and they're not coming back. I tell you that for nothing. And a fog wipes over the screen, and we find ourselves some days earlier on the edge of the woods where the fog lies thickest. Bernard, as a creepy boy, creepy human rogue, why don't you let me, as the DM, and the audience knowing, like, who is Bernard? What do they look like in the morning as they start their kind of day's exposition? I'm happy for you to even decide why you're going into this fogged woods, into the doctor's woods, which is now seeping with fog.
Yeah. So Bernard's just kind of a bit dweeby, you know, like that type of face that you just want to punch.
You're muted.
Oh,
You might be it. I was like, is it just me?
I think the stream could hear me, but you guys couldn't. Okay, so yeah, he quite dweeby. Has that very punchable face. You know, a face that you see and you just know that you're not gonna like this person. He's been in the town his whole life. His mom owns the store. She's very much stood up for him the entire time. He's now captain of the guard. So he's pretty much just he thinks this is his duty to go into the fog and investigate. So that's what he's doing.
Lovely. And would you think that Bernard's leading the pack?
He thinks so.
Fair. In which case, we will sweep forwards deeper into the woods where we come across Sybil and Ida. Sybil, what do we see as our kind of imaginations? This camera in our mind picks you up, trancing into this woods.
Well, Sybil is also a member of the guard who serves under Bernard. She doesn't have that much of a sense of duty. She's good at one thing and one thing only, and that's hitting stuff. And that is closely matched with her ability with a bow, because why not hit something further away when you have the opportunity? She's a tall woman, quite homely, lovely, soft face, you know, massive red hair, long bow swung round her shoulder, and she is just gagging for anything to come out just so she can throw a rock at it, basically.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, perception. Oh, I should have had my sheet up and ready. It's probably not going to be that high. +1. That is a 7.
With the 7, you're scanning the tree line. You're looking for any sign of movement, and you feel a little kind of pass. And you look down, and you see that there's a small rabbit hopping, just kind of leaping out of the mist and back into the mist again. And as this rabbit kind of hops along through the woods, at one moment the rabbit leaps up, and you see it land in, and then the next moment 2 rabbits come out. And you're like, oh, right, there's probably a bit more wildlife and critters around, but the fog itself, given how thick it is and how it's hanging low to the ground, is just covering your vision at that level of forest floor. Ida, you're probably not too far away. Why don't you let us know what you're up to, what you care about, what you look like, and if you could tell us what you had for breakfast, just for a mic check, that'd be great.
Uh-oh.
I like how we all know Eilish well enough that the clear muted damn it came through.
It was working a minute ago.
It sure was. Not to worry. Well, while Eilish is getting that set up, the camera whip pans around and we see Henry. Henry, what do we see?
have you know, I am the very mortal of a modern armchair comfortable. Beautiful high-backed wing-back chair tootles along the road with its darling little feet. You see, I was tending to my morning ablution and found myself stricken with a wanderlust, the likes of which a man rarely knows. And who am I to deny the winds of fate? A chair, of course.
Wait,
Yes, yes.
are you a man that thinks he's a chair, or are you literally a chair? Like from Beauty and the Beast.
How rude! I am perfectly observable as a member of the decor. Unless observed moving, of course.
Remember that scene in like Robert Downey Jr.'s
Oh,
Sherlock
yes,
Holmes?
Sherlock Holmes.
Is it that? Is it that?
Man disguised as a chair. I suppose that's a good question. Are you a working chair? Are you made with like hard wood and nicely upholstered, or are you more of a sofa chair, cozy and fluffy to sit on?
I suppose I have the demeanor of a fireside companion. Oh, lovely leather panels designed to keep you comfortable and warm.
Nice. We cut back to the bar as the old guy goes, you know, your man, he's usually sitting there by the fire. You can even see his imprint in that chair over there. He was there, walks and wonders. He's been sitting in the chair for so long, he's basically become one. I don't know if you'd be all familiar with the idea of quantum physics, but the idea of that every little while, the more time you spend in something, a little bit of it becomes you and you become a little bit of it. Sure, half the people in this town are chairs, bicycles, pitchforks, fields. You can tell them about it. I once knew a man who was more bicycle than man. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, the chair was making his way into the forest. And then there was that other one. Didn't talk much. Ida. Human. One of the guard, I think. What was she wearing that day? I remember it vividly, almost as if there's a description on the tip of my tongue. If she, in her wood, she would say,
Something.
We can hear you.
yeah. We can hear that.
Yay!
Oh my gosh. It wouldn't be a DA stream without technical difficulties. So she is, yeah, I think she was a member of the guard, but was quietly asked to leave after some vigilante shit. And has kind of just been, because she's friends with Sybil, she kind of is on the periphery. So you will normally find her where the guard is, but technically she's not a guard anymore. And she had to give back her uniform, so she just wears normal like adventuring clothes, like leathers and stuff. And she is, feature wise, she's probably the opposite of Sybil. So she's quite short, but she has very sharp features and very dark hair, and kind of almost resembles a bird. But she's a human. And yeah, she doesn't say much because it scares away the animals.
Fair. I don't know why, but and I know I wouldn't necessarily describe this person as having bird-like features, but I'm picturing like a Carrie-Anne Moss sort of. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Carrie-Anne Moss with like long hair.
Yes. Yeah. That makes sense. For my information, you guys have all noticed that this fog has begun spilling out of the Doctor's Woods. Do you think you would have gone in unprompted, or do you think you might have been sent here by one of the kind of villagers? Is it a Bernard self-elected mission, or does anyone know you're on your way into the woods right now?
Can I assume something, and Eilish, Ida, you can fight back, but I'm going to assume he sees you taking the initiative to go in, and him being the actual captain of the guard says, I'm setting up would that be right? Ida, would she? Yeah, okay. I don't want to assume anything of your character. So yeah, he's going to be, yeah. I'm creating a team of people. We need to investigate this. Follow me. I know what to do.
bringing up the rear, but leading the way. We see your good friend Bernard. As a group, how are you approaching this situation? Like, what's the general marching order, or like trudging straight ahead? Are you being apprehensive? Are you being courageous? Like, you guys let me know how you want to deal with this situation.
I feel like
I
I probably
imagine
just wander
Ida-
past everyone like, "Good morning, out for a stroll, lovely day."
Can you describe how Henry walks? How does the mechanism of
graciously graceful.
Henry's walking?
I still don't know if it's a man or a chair.
His
That's why I
little,
Yeah.
Oh my god, he walks like Mr. Krabs.
Henry puts his pants on the same way every chair puts their pants on, one leg at a time.
Uh-huh.
just
Wow.
more legs to do. So.
Okay, who had 20 minutes for Ben making a pun?
I think Ida and Sybil will be pretty close knit together. But I
Yeah.
imagine Ida is like, eye on the prize, and Sybil's just like, what's that? What's going on?
And
Yeah, I'm
Dog
not
with a
doing it
bone.
out of like out of like the goodness of her heart for the village or anything. She's just curious about what the hell is going on.
okay, Bernard's just gonna make sure he's ahead of you two. So he's just been like, oh yes, this way, yes.
With that in mind-
you don't have to come on this one. You don't work in the guard anymore, so it's you can stay behind. I've got this.
Okay. She's just going to continue walking.
Sybil has like an arrow nooked in her bow, and she's just like,
With all the seriousness that I expected this to be taken with, we head straight first into the woods. Bernard, give me a perception check with disadvantage, please. Because you're trying to muscle to the front, not looking where you're going.
Okay, I do have a +4, but I have no dice. So that would help.
Classic Bernard,
Yeah.
never prepared.
Not 20.
On
Classic
On
Bernard,
both?
look
On-
at shit.
Sorry, disadvantage. No, 9 plus 4,
Yeah.
so 13.
That's still good.
Yeah.
You know these woods well enough to know where, certain knots of a tree or certain roots would be growing out. So even as you muscle ahead to the front of this group, you're wary that although there's no visibility down from sort of knee to ankle up, you still definitely move your way and manage to get yourself at the front of this. Wouldn't really call it a search party, investigation party. So for our own picturing of things, we'll kind of diamond it out. It'll be Bernard at the front. We are 2 hunters, Ida and Sybil, and then Henry, the chair, bringing up the rear.
The chair bringing up the rear. Okay.
I don't know why people aren't getting this. I feel like myself and Rich are all on the same page here.
Just a sentient chair following us in the woods. and
Is it
there's
a
nothing
sentient
strange
chair,
about
or
that.
is it just a man walking like a crab?
Big mutton chops.
Is there anything anyone would like to be doing, seeing, checking at this point in time? You're not too far in, and it is kind of early morning. You do know that fog usually doesn't cling to the ground in this way. It's especially this time of year, usually up in the mountains, but in the woods, it's normally clear. You'd find more like mildew and stuff, but fog is unusual. So you do know that there's something up, but you're not exactly sure what.
Does it move around us as we
Delightful how the light
walk?
dances.
It doesn't. It actually clings to you and sort of creeps up, and you feel it kind of like every step you take, the fog kind of coalesces around your leg, and then you're gone, so it kind of disappears back. So it's not like driving in fog where you get a little bit of visibility. It's almost like feeling around the place. Sorry, Henry, I missed whether that was a quip or a thing for me to know.
I was just saying that it's delightful how the light dances.
Yes, and it is.
On the phone.
Give yourself inspiration.
Oh man, I forgot we were playing in a band game.
And if you think there's a pattern to how we're giving it, there isn't. So you'll never guess where the next one's coming from. Cool.
Can Bernard kind of try be like cupping his hands around the fog, getting real close, looking into it? Another sort of kind of like investigating.
Yes, please give me an investigation check.
All right. Oh, not 20.
Nice. Yay.
I cleared the fog.
Everybody go home.
As you lean down, there is a clear magical hum to this fog.
Mm-hmm.
It's the type of thing that just, raises the hairs in your arm a little bit. You feel like that kind of creeping at the back of your neck. It's not that it's necessarily unsettling. It's just that fog not acting like it should. Anything that's natural being in the wrong place at the wrong time is always just a cause for concern. And with a nat 20, you can hear quite clearly, especially as you cup the fog and you lean down, there's like a melody. There's like music traveling through it, very low, almost like, when you're at a party but you're in the bathroom, so you can hear the music through the walls. It's that sort of like drowned out, muffled. But this fog is either it's singing or it's carrying a tune. And you're not too sure which, but you've now picked up, and you test it out. You test the theory. You move a little bit closer to the town and the song is quieter. You move a little further into the woods and the song is quite audibly louder to you with the natural 20. Imperceptible to a normal kind of, you wouldn't notice the difference, but you're specifically listening out for it and you're like, yes, this is getting louder somewhere. So you now have a sort of beat on a direction, if you will, through noise. Okay.
I'm going to relay this to the chair. So because I would assume Bernard being and Henry being in the town so long, they'd be acquainted to each other. So Henry, there's
like furniture,
yeah. There's I can the fog is not it's not fog. I don't think you can hear it. It's coming from that way. You can hear it. Can you hear it?
My dear fellow, what were you talking about? Let me have a listen. I'll strain my little. There's like the chair leans. Can I hear the fog?
Yeah, you the fog begins to sort of creep and move and sense its way up until, that's actually, sorry, an unfair assumption that the ears of a chair would be at the top. I don't know. And a chair would probably sense things, through the ground on the floor. So, yeah. So,
fine.
Yeah. Give me a perception check or investigation, whatever is higher as a chair. And actually, you can do this with advantage because you are kind of honed to the rhythm of the woods. Oh, no way! Nice.
Guys, we're going to need these later. Come on.
Yes. You also hear, and once you pick it up, it's like an earworm. It's like, yeah, you've got a beat on it. You don't have to listen closely to the fog anymore. You can just start to feel the presence and the vibrations and the melody of the woods and this fog interconnecting, almost harmonizing. You pick up with another natural 20 that they are contrasting songs. What the fog is singing and what the woods is singing don't match up. So when I said harmonizing, I meant the opposite. The woods isn't happy that the fog is here. It's a sad song. It's definitely in a minor key. The fog that's singing, it brings you down a little bit. The more you listen to it, the more you're like, it's a real tug on the type of song you'd listen to, and not even like a fun one where it's like, I'm feeling sad, so I'll listen to a sad song and it will feel right. It's just this song
Midwestern
just
emo.
yes, yeah. It's not aligning your emotions to it doesn't lift your spirit. It actually pulls you further down. It feels oppressive. It's like there's just nothing worth doing. There's an ennui to this fog that it just brings with it. And as you look back towards as you look back towards the town, you move further and further into the woods. So that's you do see it. It's now spilling. It's thicker here. It's kind of closer up, further up to you guys. But is there something you want to discuss as you both kind of come across this discovery?
Was it just used to?
I mean, so far, yeah, I don't know if you guys wanted to stalk off in a different direction. I'm all for splitting parties, but
I think Sybil is just going to look at Bernard. I don't think she really likes. I don't think she likes Bernard really that much, and she's a little bit unnerved by the chair. So she'll just like grab Ida by the arm and just slowly sulk off into the woods themselves.
Fair.
In like the opposite direction, or
In like a 10 to 2 kind of.
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, so we'll stick with Bernard and the chair for a little bit as you make this harmonious discovery about the fog.
Should we follow? Yeah, we should follow the sound. Yes, I have decided that. Let's do that.
Lead on, Bernard.
And he's going to walk in the direction where he felt the sound was drawing towards.
Yeah, give me a survival check. And actually, Henry, give me a survival check as well.
12.
12.
Boom, 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 boom. 12.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This.
Okay.
Well, you're doing the nice thing is I was actually making you roll to see the difference between your rolls. So like it wasn't necessarily a DC you were building, but to see how well you could keep track of your other, because there's something naturally confusing and disorientating about this fog. But since you were both experiencing the same song, the same rhythm, since you both have tuned into this, you almost find yourselves humming it yourselves and just drawing yourselves deeper and deeper and deeper into the woods until you've lost track of how long you've been walking and how far you've gone. But you can feel the trees around you get thicker, both in size and intelligence. They're not as smart here, as it just closes in. And we'll leave you guys heading further into these woods and cut over to Ida and Sybil, who have explored the other direction, which we will say, given was a 10 and 2 situation. Let's say the 10 was Chair and Bernard. You're not necessarily moving away from the music, but you're just now kind of perpendicular to it. Because if that was a direct way, you slot around. And what are you guys looking for, or what are you kind of curious about in this space?
I think Sybil's just going to go to Ida and she'll just be like, so what is about this chair? Like, do you know what's going on with that thing, or am I going crazy?
I thought I had, inhaled some of the fog.
Maybe that's it. Maybe the fog is making all the furniture come alive, or making the trees come alive and then turning them into furniture that is just going to ruin my day.
Yeah, Bernard is weird enough without bringing a chair into the mix.
I mean, I still don't know. Is it the chair, or is it just a very strange man?
Well, he has too many limbs if it's a man.
I know, but I mean, what is more likely at this point? A man with too many limbs or a sentient chair?
You know what? That's a good point.
I know I came on this journey to kind of get away from the village and the craziness, and now there's a chair walking after us, and I think we just brought the crazy with us.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. And this is giving me the creeps. So
Yeah.
I think we should keep moving.
Do you think I should shoot it?
The fog?
Yeah. She looks over at the chair.
You go to look for the chair, and the chair is now out of sight.
Oh,
Both
thank
Bernard and the chair have moved further into the woods away from you guys. You've set a separate path. And we actually cut back to the bar, and the old man has ordered a second pint. So this chair and this lad, would they split off? And you hear someone else from across the bar say, he's not a chair, he's a man, he's a chair. And they're having this argument of whether it is a chair or a man as they begin to kind of correct each other's stories. And throwing in different kind of rumors. Like, they stuck together as a group. They didn't split off. They did split off. That's because the tracks go different directions. How would you know? You weren't there. I saw it with my eyes. I saw the chair move. As they continue to drink. And we cut back to Ida and Sybil. Making sense of this nonsense little by little.
Yeah, go for it. Try and shoot it. That bit looks kind of thick.
Can Sybil try and make a perception check to see if she can spot any bunny rabbits in the fog and try and shoot them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not in like a cruel, weird way, more like a game kind of I need to eat this kind of way.
More in a fun culinary.
Murder.
Yeah, I get it.
15!
Nice. You step away from Ida a little bit, creep a little bit further, and you do see movement. It's just sort of around, as much as it's the woods, there are natural paths here. You're all locals, so it's kind of, there's a little sense of, well, I know where I'm going, even if the path is covered. But as you move deeper into the woods, you see that there's a little sort of opening around these trees. And as you creep around them, Ida, actually give me a perception check for yourself, Ida.
Mm-hmm. 17.
17, nice. Yeah, you keep an eye on Sybil as they creep around. And Sybil, you see in this little clearing where fog is just sort of swirling around itself, you do see a rabbit. It's kind of interesting because you're seeing like a rabbit jump in and then two rabbits jump out and then one rabbit jumps in and two rabbits jump out. And it's hard to keep track of. So give me another perception check just to try follow the movements as this warren of critters seems to be moving around the place.
12.
12. You have a pretty good bead on one of them. So if you want to make an attack on them, you can.
I want to shoot it. Oh, it doesn't count because it didn't land in it. Oh, that's not that good. 13.
It's just a small rabbit. You're a hunter. You do make a attack, do your damage.
Yay. Oh, that's so bad. 5. It's a rabbit.
That's all right.
Though.
Yeah. Rabbits are renowned for their high HP. And to be fair, if I was to give it more HP, it would be alive and in pain, and I'd rather it dead. So let's just say you managed to pin it down.
I get the bunny, and I put it
Yes.
around my belt. There we
You
go.
go to pick up this bunny, and as you do, your hand passes through it.
Oh. No, that's not normal.
As if it was just fog. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And then you see your arrow is there, and it was pinning it down, but then as the fog coalesces around it, it just disperses, and there's no bunny there anymore.
Ida, what happened to my bunny?
I'm not sure.
I was going to eat it. I was looking really forward to that bunny.
Yeah, I don't think this is actually a really good idea. I'm kind of getting the creeps a little bit, to be honest.
Did we just head back? Leave
I
the Bernard
think-
in his chair.
I mean, he's such a Johnny Shite. I don't think anything bad's going to happen to him anyway. So honestly, it would probably be for the best if we just tried to head back and, I don't know, get someone more qualified. This feels like a magic thing.
Did the bunny rabbit disappear?
Mm-hmm. Although you look around and there is a bunny rabbit jumping around the place. So there is a bunny rabbit here. Just the one you shot at didn't seem to be there when you shot at it.
Can Sybil loose another arrow and try to shoot that other bunny?
Yeah, you make an attack roll.
Oh, that's better. 21.
It hits.
Definitely hit. And yeah, that is a, what do I add to that? +3, 7.
7 damage. Yeah. And this one, you actually hear it. You hear the kind of arrow piercing skin, and you hear a little of a last dying breath as you pin this bunny. Let's say they were old. You pin this horrible, nasty. They had terrible opinions. Yeah. Nasty rabbit to the ground.
Bunny.
Yeah. The worst of them all, like bullying all the other lupins around the place. To the ground. And as you go over and pick it up, this is a real live, live bunny.
It's a real bunny.
It was a real one.
Oh, problem solved. It's all okay. And she'll put the bunny around her belt.
Nice.
It's fine.
Hey, you left it up.
We've worked it.
What do you... There was still another fog bunny.
Oh yeah, but I'm not too worried about that anymore because I have my bunny now.
Well, I'm getting kind of hungry, to be honest.
I've got the bunny. We can eat this one.
You wanna
Maybe
set
the
up a
ghost
camp
bunny
here?
was just a hook. I
A what?
Yeah. They exist. I'm beginning to think ghost bunnies exist now in this world. We've got like chairmen. A werechair.
I don't think he's actually a chair. Did we not settle on a man with extra limbs?
I don't think we settled on anything.
Oh,
this episode, by the way. This is just
the mystery of
really,
chair or man.
The chairman. I'm really not feeling this. I really, really do think that we should leave.
Well, should we go back to Bernard in the chair and just see what they think?
Head back to the... Wait, where did they go?
Perception check. Can we see them?
Yeah, I do a perception check. You're using your ears to see if you can hear them further into the woods.
11.
Bernard and Henry, do you think you'll be talking or just kind of walking?
Oh, very loudly talking.
Yeah.
In spite of the fact that Bernard is a rogue, but that's only when he decides that is the correct thing to do. So right now he's very visible, very loudly shouting.
Well, give me a perception check as well.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Nice. You're listening around and there is no real sign of Ida or of Sybil. They definitely went in a different direction. I don't know if that concerns you or not. No, that's fair.
He wants to solve this before they do, so yeah.
Fair. You guys make your way a little bit further and deeper into the woods, and you do start to hear the voice of your party as the two of them, as if stepping out of mist, just kind of round a tree, and you both kind of, the party just naturally reconnects and bumps into one another again. And there is Ida and Sybil chatting away, and Bernard and Chair waddling further into the woods. So the party's kind of made their way back together.
Hey boss, I got the bunny.
What have you caught?
Well, we have a trail to follow, so yeah.
Oh yeah, what kind of trail?
Uh,
I can't see the ground, so I don't know how you can find a trail.
because you have to be able to hear it. We can hear it.
Hear a trail.
Yeah.
What does it sound like?
What does it sound like?
Like a D minor tune.
That's not weird at all. See, Sybil, I told you this place is getting creepier by the second. I really think we should do.
No, it's this way. That we Henry, you know, heard it as well. So I mean, yeah. So it's this way. I know it is.
You think we should follow the creepy
I
chick?
think you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, as me, the captain of the guard, I am going to. That's my plan, and I own this investigation.
And what are you
own
gonna
this
do?
investigation.
Yep.
What are you gonna do if you get to whatever is making the creepy tune and it's something magical and weird?
I'll figure that out when I get there.
That's a solid plan, boss.
I'm very capable,
I have no doubts.
as is Henry Chair.
Of course.
So I was just gonna stare at Henry, like really intently, and genuinely try to figure out if it is legs or a man.
Ben, I think our mist is just getting a little bit thick here, and it's almost hard to see each other, isn't it?
It's so hard to see in the fog and mist. It's like between the woods and the trees. Like, what are you gonna do?
Could be anyone. Could be anything.
Yeah, could be a chair. Could be a man called Henry. Who knows?
So
With the personality of a chair.
Other than
Does the chair have shoes?
There's the chair. It's so hard to see in the fog.
All right. Well, what direction is the tune coming from then?
this way, and he's going to point to the direction the tune is going from. And
Nice.
What are you guys bringing to this investigation?
Lunch.
Sybil holds up the dead rabbit. No, I practically caught 2 of them, but one turned out was a ghost rabbit.
I don't think rabbits can be ghosts. I don't. Okay.
I saw the ghost. It was a ghost.
All right. Yeah. This investigation of ghosts. No, that's totally fine.
Fox hunted.
Fascinating.
All right. I'll allow it on the investigation. Let's go.
Nice. So, restored marching order. Is there any change in? Is it Bernard's first chair? Are you still bringing up the rear, or are you kind of in step with Bernard now?
I'll take up the back.
Chair
in
has
case
a
anyone
name.
needs a little support. You know, I like the.
Fair.
What?
Oh dear.
Sybil
Declan's gonna
will
murder us.
be. Sybil's gonna be with Bernard, I think, with
Right.
Boss.
The boss.
So, what is it that you're expecting to be there? Do you have any leads?
Yeah. I haven't fully fleshed them out yet, so I don't want to say them out loud. But yeah, what do you think I'm thinking?
I don't think you're thinking anything, to be honest. Well, do you have any ideas, like, at all? Because I'm just here for a good time, really.
Yeah,
To be honest,
I'd
I
say-
got money. I'm a chair. Like, at the end of the day, is it probably just fog?
I don't think it's just fog, but it could just be someone messing with fog and having a nice little party that we might stumble
A
upon.
fog machine in the forest.
So it's like dry ice.
Like dry ice. It's just a dry ice machine and some of those lights that spin around and dance up and down, you know.
And we're investigating why we didn't get an invite.
Well, we just want to make sure it's not anything more sinister, you know.
Sinister like a chairman.
No, sinister like antisocial behavior.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll just beat them up if it is.
Yeah, no. We'll take them in and arrest them, and process them according to the law.
See, this is what I'm talking about. He just doesn't let us have any fun. That's why I left.
The rules are here. You didn't leave. We kicked you out, and the rules are here to control the fun.
Henry, give me a quick perception check. Actually, sorry. Give me a dex saving throw.
Oh, that's not the same.
Trips on his
Yeah.
upholstery.
Oh no, my leather.
12.
12. You, as you're bringing up the rear here, kind of clip-clopping through the woods, feel one of your legs just go into what feels like wet, smulchy mud. It hasn't been raining recently, so it's unusual
down!
to feel. You all hear Henry scream out.
I'm just gonna turn around and be like, oh. You gotta watch where you're stepping.
How?
All right, no, how can you hear me? You've got no ears.
He's got perfectly good ears.
Where?
There, look.
Can you hear them?
What do you mean? I mean, how can I see when I'm stepping because of the thick fog?
Right, that's what I meant. And she's gonna put her hand on one of the arms and kind of give him a hoosh out.
Watch where you're touching.
Careful, I'm old. Oh, Thank
Sorry, you're just so well polished.
Yeah, you hear that kind of
Thank you.
creak of old kind of as you lift Henry out of the squelch that they've made in the woods.
well, let's not dilly-dally.
What did Henry slip into?
That's a good question. A
Something.
very good question. I'll message you.
Oh
I didn't
my
hear the
god.
question. What was the question?
What did
What did he slip into?
Dick.
So excited.
You guys continue on into the woods a little bit deeper and a little bit further. It's getting harder to see. The fog itself has begun to kind of lift around, kind of up near your hips. You're taking it slower, but the sound is, to you, Bernard, the sound is getting louder. Same with Henry. The song is getting clearer. You are making your way in. Give me a I suppose in a way, either a history or a general wisdom check, Bernard. This is just to kind of, if you've been in these woods before, if you live in this part, you might know where you're kind of heading into.
That's a 9.
A 9. But with the fog and the racket everyone behind you is making, it's just you don't even have space to clear your own head, let alone clear your vision or what's going on. Everyone's asking stupid questions. They're all focusing on the wrong thing. They're getting in the way of your mission, your chance to make sure that the town is safe.
Everyone, shut up. You're all idiots. Just shut up and follow me. Not you, Chair.
No, it's right. Don't follow him. And Sybil will stay close to Bernard with her bow nooked.
Nice. So, Bernard, you head on. Sybil, you head with Bernard. Ida, what are you up to? And Henry, what are you up to?
Ida's still very confused about the chairman, so she's just kind of walking beside him as he's walking and like watching how he moves. and is considering whether or not it's polite to ask someone if they're a chair. And then eventually she's like, "So, how did you come to look the way that you do?"
Well, my father was from the north and my mother was from the south, so I think it's,
Right. And the
very
leather?
typical. Oh, I actually tanned that myself once. I believe originally I was dressed in velour.
Oh,
It's much more. What did you say?
yeah, that's an interesting choice. And what kind of wood is that?
Oak.
Right. So that's not native to these lands.
Well, now that I think about it, I suppose I don't know where it's from. Who amongst
Okay.
us knows where anything comes from this day and age?
And tell me, have you any magical enemies?
Oh. Are you concerned about the fog? Like perhaps it's a plot against me? I very much doubt it. I have
yeah,
but one enemy, and he knows who he is.
It's fire.
Curse you, Chaz Lounge.
Okay, I just like, okay, I'm clearly not going to get any straight answers out of this chairman. So she will kind of move ahead of him a little bit.
Yeah. As Ida moves ahead of you, Henry, give me an investigation check.
Oh, that's not good. 4.
4. There's like a brief moving of the fog around you as Ida, with the kind of deft skillness of a ranger in the woods, just sort of like slips by you with an unnatural gracefulness, just kind of a little duck and through and around, like, and now is ahead of you, blocking your view of the people walking at the front of your party, who have now, because of this conversation that you sort of slowed down, have gotten a little bit further ahead. So we'll sweep along the fog through the forest floor as we see a squirrel skitter down a tree into the fog, and then 2 squirrels come out. And we see a bunny rabbit leap across, and again, 2 seem to leap out. And we join at the very front with Bernard and Sybil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's happening up there?
Sibyl's going to turn around and see that there's some distance between them two and the chair and Ida. She's going to take the opportunity. She's going to grab Bernard's arm and kind of like scurry even further a bit to try and get some privacy. Alright, so I've got the question for you.
Yes.
So what is it with you and Dyra?
Why? What have you heard?
Oh, just seeing the way that she looks at you every so often, I'm thinking,
Do you think so?
yeah, of course, obviously.
It's just I've already written her 2 poems and she hasn't responded. So do you think I should write another?
I think you should write so many of them.
You think like a collection, like a book, like a collection book of poems?
I think like an anthology, like just so many letters.
There's so many things about her that I could describe in such wonderful ways that there's no end to it, you know? Do you think?
Wow,
do you
because
think-
I
do you-
think
do you
she's
think
really
she feels
into you.
the same? Do you think I should?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, you should hear the things she says about you.
Okay.
She's like, oh, Bernard with his blue eyes.
Poetry reading. Do not do that to me, Richard. Wow. Yeah. That's. Sometimes I feel like she just doesn't have any interest, and I think maybe since I became captain of the guard, she's respected me a little more, and I think if I can figure out this investigation, you know, she'll see that, you know.
So we should get the move on then.
Yes.
And try to figure it out.
Absolutely, yes.
So, the things you're writing her, do you have anything in mind? Do you want to workshop some?
Not right. What would you write about if you were writing about Diara?
Diara, your hips are the size of the moon. You're as ferocious as bear in the forest.
Yeah. That. Okay.
You make my heart poof like a ghost bunny in the fog.
I like the moon. I think the moon imagery is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, girls love the moon. We go crazy for the
They
moon.
do. Yeah, they actually do. And I think they believe that the way the moon moves when you're born can affect your entire personality, which is interesting.
Yeah, your
Absolutely
menstrual
fantastic.
cycle, it does the whole thing.
Do you think I should talk about the moon and her menstrual cycle? Maybe I'll write
Oh,
a poem
like,
about
you
that.
should bring it up at least every 28 days.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I
We'll
have.
find out if she likes the wings, if she doesn't, you know.
Yes, yeah. This is the first time I've thought about her menstrual cycle, and I definitely think it's worthy of some poems. The wings, yeah, sure, maybe, or a cup, or who knows. Yeah.
They're very progressive in Canuck.
I pat his back. Is that enough?
Yes.
I walk on. I don't care anymore.
So we
Did you hate every second of that?
yeah, that was more than enough. We cut back about 30 minutes ago when Sybil and Ida broke away from the path and headed deeper into the woods. Sybil, you tracked a little bit further, trying to find a rabbit ahead. And as you dipped around the corner of a tree and lost sight of Ida, the real Ida, you felt something creeping up behind you. You felt the fog latching to your ankles and up around, exploring, curious, wondering, what is this? Is this a human? Is this a woman? What is woman? What is human? What is man? What is
What is
woods
chair?
and trees? What is chair? And you feel yourself being led away by the fog. And in your space, a fog version of yourself appears, perfectly primed to get Sybil alone. So as you return, the real Sybil, rabbit in hand, you're chatting to Ida. Ida, in the moments in which we cut away, in the moment of turning, is there anything you would want to have said as a manifestation of a humanoid made of fog to real Sybil?
Me? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I thought we were still an idol.
I was
No,
trying to
I
think
guess we were. I was.
to say.
Yes, yeah.
No.
It's a,
Be like, oh, good shot with the bow.
No, I was thinking more like little girls shouldn't be alone in the woods.
And it's at that moment in time, Sybil, that you realize that Ida isn't the person you thought they were. And the two of you, having lost yourselves in the woods, as fog manifestations catch up with the others, you appear silently from behind a tree and magically, just coincidentally, seem to bump into the other party members. It's like you can move faster because you're made of the thing that is covering these woods. Bernard and Sybil moved further ahead, whereas Henry and Ida stayed behind. And Henry, I don't know, have you seen my text message? Does this all make sense? Good, great. Bernard, give me just a straight D20 roll.
That's a 19.
A 19.
Ooh.
Something urges you, something tells you as you're being led deeper and deeper into the woods by this music to turn around, and you do just in time. And I will give you a sort of surprise round as your party members, the people you thought were on your side, seem to just move through the woods, through the fog, and appear as themselves manifestations of mist and fog. You realize that somewhere on this trail, the people you were with have been swapped. And at that point, I want everyone to roll initiative.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
PvP. Wow.
That's a 21.
Nice.
That is a seven.
Oh, God
seven.
damn it. Why is that? That is
Dirty
a
20.
12.
These dice.
Dirty 20, 12, and 7. So I've got Bernard, Fog, Henry, Fog, Sybil, and then Fog, Ida. Henry, Sybil, and Ida, roll me another initiative check. These are for the real yous lost somewhere in these woods.
I got 14.
17.
14. And sorry, Ida, what was that?
17.
17. And Henry,
10.
10. Nice. All right. Top of the round, and Bernard, thanks to that straight roll, it is your turn. I'll give you a free action on this turn as well.
What am I fighting?
It seems like, sorry, I guess I'll set the scene. For cinematic sake, let's say the fog clears and we begin to shoot through from the village of Knock, through the forest, following it, catching up with you. We actually get a bird's eye view of the entire forest, and we see that all four of you are sort of splintered out in all four different directions, like the fingers of a hand. Let's say, Bernard, for argument's sake, if we all kind of went this way, that you're somewhere in the middle, either the middle finger or the ring finger. We sweep through and the fog clears for our audience's vision past, and we see what Henry stepped in at one point. It seems to be a pile of clothing and rags and almost like a wet, skin-like gloop, the shedded form of some sort of shape changer, changeling, or doppelganger. As you see around you, merging, the kind of knowing that it's now 3 against 1, the guise has been dropped, and that final sort of pat from Fog Sybil was enough to push you ahead. As you turn, you see forming out of the fog itself 3 figures, virtually identical to the people you've traveled with, except you can see now where their bodies touch the fog, there is no separation. They're these kind of floating fog-like Sabutio kind of things.
Okay. I'm gonna just try attack the middle one with my bow.
Which would be Sybil,
So to hit.
flanked either side by Henry and Ida.
It's a 5 to hit.
It's your regular stats. Yeah. So yeah. The arrow fires through the woods out. It's almost like cuts a little bit, but because it's fog, doesn't make contact. That's your free action. That was your kind of like, whoop, oh, something's going on here. You can now take a full turn.
How far away are they?
They're pretty close, but for combat's sake, let's say not exactly melee range. So let's say 15 feet.
So he's gonna then try. He's got 2 weapon fighting with his 2 short swords.
Mm-hmm.
So first one is again still going for the middle one. 21 to hit, and that's with 5 damage, and then 15 to hit, and that's with 4 damage.
They both hit.
Just
Do I mark that off?
Yeah, but not from, just keep a sidetrack because this isn't your real HP. And
So that
for, what was it, 9 and 4? 13 in total?
How much was it?
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
13 damage?
No, that's not right. No, nine
Is
total,
that- oh.
9 total damage. 5 of
9 total damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
9 in total. Nice. Fog people, the people who have been turned, for game's sake, your total HP, just like half it. That's your fog HP.
Oh, my fog hoofs.
Okay, nice. Yeah, with 2 quick swoops of the sword. Actually, Bernard, why don't you describe what this looks like as you carve the fog to pieces?
Yeah, he's actually surprisingly, for somebody who stumbles in his speech, very stealthy when it comes to his sword work. Yes, he comes along and swipes twice, both in the neck of Sybil's ghost form, and just says, "Yeah, thanks."
And then a rogue comes in.
Thanks for the poetry help.
Yes, you suddenly realize the advice you've been given was some magical, mystical fog, obsessed with the menstrual cycle of women.
Oh,
It's just
the heart
curious
wants
about
what
it.
it can't have.
Yeah. Which brings us to Fog Henry. Fog Henry, your friend, you're part of you, not the one that turned you, but something you felt a connection to has been vaporized. And the thing that did it, this nasty human, this thing you were just curious about, but now you're angry at, is the one responsible.
Fog Henry's little footrest pops up, and that is the somatic component of Tasha's hideous laughter. I need a wisdom saving throw from Bernard. Bernard.
I need to do a wisdom saving throw. Okay. Wisdom plus 2.
DC 14 if it matches mine.
7.
Ooh.
You perceive everything as hilariously funny. Not that anything here isn't deadly serious, and you fall into fits of laughter. You are incapacitated, fall prone, and are unable to stand up for the duration. It's concentrated 1 minute. At the end of each of your turns, or each time you take damage, you can try the save again.
Alright, okay.
Nice. You collapse into the fog. So I want you to make me a Constitution saving throw. As this thing that you realize is all around you and seeping into your precious little village might be getting the upper hand.
That's a 15.
15's fine. You can feel it crawling over you, sensing you, just trying to get, what are you? It's curious. It wants to know more. It's trying to get into your nooks and crannies to learn everything about you. It's getting a sense of your outsides, but any longer in this fog, and it might start to piece together things like hearts, things like livers and organs and ribs, what exists inside. And you can hear it in the music, this despair. It just wants to know. It's so lonely, and it just wants more. Fog Henry, you probably have a bonus action if you'd like to take it. No? Moving us on to real Ida. You hear somewhere in the different distance the sound of Bernard laughing maniacally. And it kind of breaks you from this. You are alone. You turn around and it's like you've realized that you've been sort of almost in a trance, led away from your group. You were just kind of following a trail. You were like, oh, it's this way. And they're behind me and they're all fine. It was like you're in a hunter's focus, and it's the sound of laughter that breaks you. It feels like it is not too far to the east. So let's say on our little finger map that if Bernard is here, you were here.
Is it like the kind of laughing that I would know is hysterical and like out of character for Bernard, or is it just like, oh, he's having a great time over there with his pals?
It is hysterical. And it's you listen for like 6 seconds and you're like, okay, hearing someone laugh for 12 seconds or like 18 or like it's just even 6 seconds of non-stop hysterical laughter is kind of bizarre when you really think about it. Like
Yeah.
laughter should have breaths, and it's like there's no time for breath. So you do pick up that it is not altogether a good laugh, but it is hearty.
In that case, she'll be like, "Ugh, what's he gotten himself into?" and kind of head in that direction, back towards the noise.
Roll me a d4.
D4. 4.
Boom. Okay. Yeah. But that's okay. You're a little closer. So in 2 rounds, so end of this round, end of the next round, you will reach Bernard.
Okay.
Which brings us to real Sybil. You hear the same kind of, you're broken out of this stupor. You hear this laughter. You hear Bernard, same information, all, and both as hunters, you would know that this is an unusual situation. So let's put you probably a little bit further away because you were the first to kind of splinter off. So real Sybil, as you break out of this hunter's focus in the fog and you've realized that it has been almost crawling over you, getting a sense, like getting a scan of you. It was like it's reached up around you, you shake it off and it kind of goes back down to hip level and you hear this laughter.
Sybil will just use all of her movement to try and get to that laughter.
Nice. Give me a d4 roll.
D4. That is a 1.
Nice. In 1 round, you will arrive.
Yay!
Which brings us to fog. Sybil has been puffed, but you might reform. So bear with me. Leading us to real Henry. Real Henry. Same information, same all that kind of stuff. We can cut straight to the D4 if you want, or if you don't like Bernard, that's fine too.
Wow.
Everyone will understand.
That young fellow needs my help. 1.
1, nice.
you guys.
You'll also arrive.
Does that mean I can get within like feet of being in the right place because I have a single charge of Misty Step?
Yes, let's say that as you run, you're a little slower than the hunters. Maybe it's your physiology. Probably not, though. But in a sort of like, if you're running as fast as you can, Sybil is just a natural hunter. You will both kind of catch up and meet at the same time. But I will let you bump yourself to the top of the initiative if you want to use Misty Step at the start of that next round. To get there moments before.
Sure.
Nice. Fog Ida. Prone on the ground is a laughing, maniacal Bernard. As Fog, like you didn't harm the others, you just wanted to get a read on them. You just kind of wanted to get a scan. I'm not going to stop you from killing this person, though. I don't mind. I have no connection to this character. So you do whatever you think would be the right thing to do in this situation.
I mean, I don't know if disdain is transferable to fog monsters. So she's probably like, trying to shut him up. But
yeah,
maybe not kill him. So she might just go over and be like, I don't know, put a hand on his mouth or something and be like, shut up.
Nice. Give me a grapple check. You can make this with advantage, but Bernard, you still get to, you're rolling around laughing, so you can still make a acrobatics or athletics check to try and escape this grapple.
Are you fucking joking me?
That's a 20.
Two nat
21.
ones.
Nice. Well, 2 nat ones.
2 nat ones.
Who's the fog here? This slippery little creepy guy. You can't get a grip on him. He's just rolling around having a good time. Which brings us to the top of the round. Is it at the end of your turn that you can make that saving throw? Or is it the start for Tasha Sidious?
Richard?
At the end of each of its turns, yeah.
Okay.
Nice. So Give me that saving throw.
Okay. Constitution saving, was it? No. Wisdom saving.
Wisdom save.
14.
I think it was.
Pizza,
Pizza.
pizza.
You are. Stop laughing. There was nothing funny about a chair popping out its little. There was nothing hilarious about it. It's not the best thing I've ever heard in my life. And you are free from the magical spell of this hilarious fog. But you are on the ground, prone,
Okay.
and aware that it is trying to smother you because it's trying to copy you, and it has not yet gotten a copy of our precious little boy. Which brings us to Fog Henry.
Fog Henry is going to rush forward and cast Toll the Dead. So that is again a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. That is a 8.
You feel the eyes of this chair on you, and just all you can see is the visage. You having that pareidolia thing where you're picking out the face and it looks mad, and you just hear the dong of a bell, and you take 1d8 psychic. 5.
Henry, no, I thought we were friends.
Ida, you're booking it through the woods, and you hear. Actually, I think the bell only tolls in a person's head. I don't think it's like an audible bell, right? In that spell, it's like purely psychic, and it's merely a mental thing. But you can feel fog around you as you rush towards Bernard, trying to slow you down, trying to grab you, trying to just keep you in it so it can learn everything it needs to know about you. I want you to give me either athletics or acrobatics check to see if it doesn't slow you down.
11.
11's enough. It's fog. Like, it's not strong.
Get out of here, Fog.
Your speed alone, it's like running through a little bit of water, and you are a natural fighter. So you've done resistance training before. This is no different. It's barely even affecting your PB as you sprint, and you will join at the end of the next round, which brings us to Real Sybil and Real Henry. Real Henry, you can jump into action now because you've misty stepped forward. The one thing Fog hates, mist.
Not what I missed. So does that mean I can see everyone now?
Yes, you can now
fog,
see the two
so-
fog shapes of yourself made of fog looming over something on the ground, and Ida made of fog, again, kind of just trying to cover and smother. You see these two forms trying to smother something on the ground.
This squat little dwarf man in a 3-piece suit, his coattails dragging on the ground as he runs, his beer belly extended far past the rest of his form, and his mutton chops, bigger than anyone has a right to have, comes rushing out of the mist. This is not a chair! And he casts Eldritch Blast.
Nice. Make an attack roll.
Oh my god! That was
Do I have to
brilliant.
hit my own AC?
Yeah.
Cool, I hit, and I do 5 force damage to Fog Henry.
Nice. Yeah. This blast crackles as this chair kind of like, as this eldritch energy crackles through the chair, kind of more, it's like trying to make a dwarf, trying to make a chair. It just doesn't know which pattern it's meant to be in. And we cut back to the bar. It's like, it's not a dwarf, it's a chair. I saw the chair, man. And it's like, and that old drunken man is just slowly being pushed away as someone else kind of steps up. It's like, you're trying to find out what really happened. Yes, no, I think I can paint a clearer picture. It's Henry. Henry the dwarf sits in that chair over there. And as the camera pans and we see a chair, it is the chair that this man thinks has walked into the woods. And we cut back into combat as you guys, as a party, are like, what the, like, how do they know any of this happened? But questions are for Declan to solve. Henry, is that the end of your turn? Eldritch Blast?
Yeah, I believe so.
Nice.
Let me just double check that. Yeah. That's me.
Sybil, you will be in ever so shortly, but just before you do, it was only because Henry Misty stepped into initiative. We have Fog Ida. As you see from behind you, this crackle moves past you and hits what is essentially you, but the chair version of you. There is a threat coming from behind. There's something trying to stop your ability to copy this man on the ground.
She will avert her attention from Bernard on the ground and fire a fog crossbow. Is that going to work?
Yeah, absolutely.
At Dwarf Henry, not Chair Henry.
Yes. Give me an attack.
That is a 13.
That's my AC.
Nice. Roll damage.
8. Ooh, 10.
Oof.
I'm so sorry.
Is that fog or real Henry?
That's real Henry.
Real Henry.
But also,
Oh,
it's
no.
fog. How bad can it be?
10 bad. It's 10 bad.
I'm so sorry. I was really annoyed by you confusing me.
Okay.
Is Henry down?
So I have 10 HP.
Oh no, Henry.
I was mildly worried because I also only have 10 HP.
You're all level 1.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Oh, good.
Ida is not sorry. Eilish is sorry.
With vicious precision.
Once
because
again,
you,
man down.
Oh, good heavens.
as this crossbow bolt fires through the fog, made of fog, and connects and pushes real Henry down into the fog and smothers them, you have no need for this thing to be alive. You have a perfectly good copy of it. It has 4 legs and a really sturdy back. You don't need any more information from this thing. You know what Henry is, and Henry is a chair, a strong and sturdy and supportive chair. So the fog, as far as it's concerned, has no need for you to be alive and tries to take you out, feed you to the mulch and forest below. I think with one party member going down and knowing that we are all not chairs, but people who might need to pee and refresh and do the usual things that people do, we should probably take a short break. If you're watching along, thank you so much for following us along. For players as well, just for your own kind of time management and consideration. When we're back, I don't think the next half is going to be, we're probably 2/3, if not 3/4 of the way through. So we've done the bulk of what's going on here. Okay. So just for your own planning. But I think a good enough time with Henry going down to take our break.
Sorry.
Yay.
Did you just call Henry going down?
Hi, we're Horde of Tales. We're an EU-based actual play Twitch channel. We have a long-form D&D campaign.
You may note us as
1, 2,
3.
3.
The plane
Plane
jumpers.
diver. No.
Divers?
How did we mess this up?
And we're the new home of the EU Happy Hour.
Look, I placed them down where I thought they would be. I didn't say it was right.
We often have short-term flights that you can be a part of.
I have never heard or read a Regency era love letter that sounded more like a booty call than that.
It's open to interpretation.
Come add to our collection at twitch.tv/Horde of Tales.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to the latest episode of Sorcery Shenanigans.
You haven't seen any cows, have you?
Once.
Going to cast I'm sorry in advance. I'm going to cast heat metal on the horse's bit.
Oh. Believed to be Shar. Shar kind of pulls herself back and she's like, well, it looks like we have ourselves a game.
Hello, and welcome back to part 2 of Beyond Edging, a Horizon story. Where we are in the middle of the Doctor's Woods, which is covered in a mysterious magical fog. I've broken Richard. Which has been slowly and surely and secretly, thanks to the well-timed role-playing of these players you see before you, been replacing each and every one of them until we had one left. Our precious, creepy little boy, Bernard, who is in the middle of being taken down by fog, and where we left off, rushing to their rescue, but rushing into danger, everyone's favorite chair, Henry, who has been shot with a crossbow bolt and taken down in one hit. It's level 1, baby. PvPs are dangerous. And this DM doesn't account for difficulty. We will pick up Fog Ida. That was you, right? Nice. Which brings us to the top of the round. Bernard, you are on the ground.
Okay, seeing his chair bestie wiped out, he has no healing ability, so he will not be helping in that way whatsoever. But he's going to draw his 2 short swords at Fog Ida as revenge for his chair friend.
Rude.
Not on my watch. Ida.
Literally on your watch, but we can move.
Bless you.
That's a 23 to hit and a 21 to hit.
All right.
For 8 and
now you can stop.
7 damage.
We see Bernard do that cool, like, lift off the ground pop. You know the ones that cool people can do? They pop up, swords in hand, and then cross gladiator style, slice the fog in twain. Fog Ida, who disappear. Which brings us to Fog Henry. Fog Henry, one of your friends, part of you, has again been dispersed by this boy with swords. Sorry, unless there's a bonus action or movement or anything you'd like to do. But yeah,
no, he's pretty satisfied with how cool that was.
It's never going to happen again, and there was no witnesses.
I don't know if Fog Henry has much recourse except firing off Eldritch Blasts.
Yeah.
Get him.
With a 14. Is a 14 hit to Bernard?
Oh, yeah.
2 damage.
2.
Wow.
His heart wasn't in it. He doesn't understand all these strange emotions, seeing the other chair fall.
Real Ida, you are going to come in at the end of this round. But you are technically, I'll keep your initial order, but you'll be the very last person to go. But you can see this all happening before you. You can see it's probably about, what is like action dash 60 foot away now. You're getting close. And so unless there's something you can do from a distance of that, then you can continue rushing. But you can now see through the thicket of the trees where this skirmish is taking place.
Could I hit with my crossbow?
You could try. I'll have you roll with disadvantage because there's trees in the way.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to try and hit... Wait. Who can I see?
Well, that's a good point. Give me a perception check because you don't know what's fog
Which one? Yeah.
and what isn't.
That is a 11.
You could risk it if you want to.
I've already
There's
killed
a
him
Bernard.
once.
There's a Fog Henry. There's a Bernard. You don't know which one's which. But if you want to roll with disadvantage and then flip a coin.
No.
Fair.
Probably. She doesn't hate him that much.
Right. Which brings us to Real Sybil. Real Sybil, you burst through the thicket of trees and you see in front of you as your friend Misty steps forward, fires off a blast, and then gets shot and instantly goes down into the mist. You don't know if they're alive or dead. You do know that they did scream out, "Man down."
Okay.
As you
is
see a
the chair still there?
Chair's still there.
Chair's still there. Dwarf on the ground. Sybil is just gonna draw out her short sword and her dagger, and she's just gonna take a swipe at the big chair. I don't think
Nice.
she knows if it's a doppelganger or not. She just wants to take that chair out.
I hate what I don't understand.
14 to hit.
14 hits, I believe. I think that was the AC.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Is that is 10? 10 damage to the chair.
10. Yeah. You leap over the downed dwarf and with two sword and dagger just land down, scraping down. It's a travesty. The stitching on this chair is, but you rip through its upholstery, scarring it and dispersing it into the fog.
Do we see any other doppelgangers?
For all intents and purposes, at this moment in time, no.
That's not an answer.
It isn't an answer.
Is there not like a doppelganger Ida like over Bernard though?
Ida was doppelganger Ida was sliced.
Oh, so that's it.
Sybil's the
then.
first in it. That's them. However, everyone, no, just Sybil and just Bernard. Roll me a d6.
4.
Nice.
2.
Brilliant. Perfect. Great for you guys. That was to see if the fog recharged doppelgangers. You can see it's trying to make your shapes again. It's trying to kind of build you back up. It knows what you look like now, and it's trying to reform you from this never-ending spreading fog. Bernard, it got a good sense of what you would be, but it's just not getting... It actually knows you as something cooler than you might be. It's seen more here. It's like taller. It's trying to make you like... but hasn't fully gotten a grasp. But you can see it's starting to make it's like it builds and then disperse. It's like it's just not able to hold that shape. But for the time being, there is nothing around you. Although I think we need to ask our friend Henry to roll a death saving throw.
No, he's fine.
Okay. Okay.
4.
Oh no, he's not fine.
It's not fine at all. We can stay in initiative order, or if anyone wants to like leap into action, but you do see that Henry is down.
If we're not in initiative anymore, if I take the help action, can I bring him back round to 1 HP?
Yes, if you want to give me a medicine check to try stabilize Henry.
Natural 1.
Oh no!
You have killed him.
You killed him.
What does this do?
Now, this is Beyond Horizons.
Yeah, but I'm a doctor, not an interior designer.
but I am not Declan. So I won't have it to be another death saving throw. But I will say that in your effort, unless through magical or potionable means, there's no way to heal Henry. Would anyone else like to try? Does anyone have anything? Did anyone pick? Oh my goodness. Ooh. Well, at least he wasn't an established and loved NPC.
God, it couldn't have been Bernard, no.
Oh no, not Bernard.
Wow, but it's so cool.
Which means it comes down to the rolls then, I suppose. So I'm gonna need 2 rolls, a death saving throw from Henry. And at this point in time, I would also like Fog Ida to roll a d6. Because we're at the end of another round to see if Fog Ida comes back.
5.
I've got a big cocked d20, so I'm going to roll it again.
Fair.
That's a 13.
Yay!
13. Pass. That's pretty good. As you all crowd around Henry to make sure they're okay, or at least try help as much as possible. So as you rush in to try to stabilize or raise the head or just do anything that can make this easier, behind you all, an Ida made of fog begins to form up, having recharged on a 5 or a 6. Fog Ida. Their backs are turned to you. What would you like to do?
Is there a way to help bring about another doppelganger?
You could give me a medicine check to see if you can resuscitate. As both sides are like, hold on, just give us a sec to recharge your troops.
19.
19? Yeah, which one would you like to bring back? You have your choice. You can have a Bernard, you can have a Henry, you can have another Ida, but just hand it over to someone else. You can have a Sybil.
I will have a Sybil, please.
A Sybil.
Yay!
Yeah. A Sybil appears. Another death saving throw from Henry.
Oh, 19.
19, nice. Okay, that's 2. We're getting, he'll be fine. And we know this fog isn't, aside from it killing you, isn't trying to like, it's not a vicious fog. Yeah, it will happily leave you here unconscious in the woods. So that's good. Bernard, Ida, Sybil, 2 fog creatures have appeared behind you. I'll take it in order of heroes, then villains. So Bernard, you were top of the initiative round. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Yeah. He's going to whip out his 2 short swords again. In a very cool and swift, roguish manner, and try attack them both. So one with one sword and the other with the other, whilst twirling.
Ooh.
So that's an 11 to hit.
Which one were you aiming for, Sybil or Ida?
Ida.
No.
Ida, what's your AC? No?
16.
16. And the next roll?
14 to hit, Sybil.
14. I don't think I have my armor equipped. Let's see. 14, yes. 14 hits.
For 4 damage.
Oh no.
Oh, and can I use my sneak attack? Wait, do I have to be...
Are you a swashbuckler? Maybe that's a level 3 subclassy thing.
I think you need to have advantage for sneak attack.
Once per turn, you can deal an extra 1d6 damage to one creature you hit with an attack with a finesse or raised weapon. Okay, never mind.
You managed to cut down some of this fog. And remember, fog, you guys have half your HP. So if 4 is still good to keep you up, then that's all good. Does anyone else, Ida or Sybil, knowing that Henry, you're kind of just guarding the body more than helping it back, you also have time to take an attack on either the fog version of yourselves or otherwise?
Can I attack?
Yeah, both of you can.
Right.
We're all at the same time. It's a cool maneuver.
How many?
Sorry.
So there's a Sybil, there's an Ida, isn't there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to, once again, dual wielding. I'll go for myself, and I'll take a hit against me.
Nice.
That is absolutely going to hit. There was a 19 plus a lot. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And that would be 9. So my Sybil shadow puffs out. And then since I've got 2 weapon fighting, with my bonus action, I'm going to take my dagger and I'm going to throw attack it at the other shadow. That would be less good. That's less good. +5. That's a 10 to hit.
10 doesn't hit as you see this dagger against a tree and just passing by. Fog Ida has been making some pretty cool dodging maneuvers. And actually, for the sake of visuals and making this more exciting, let's say it was almost a perfect hit, but being Fog, the head just goes whoop and then back up and manages to dodge entirely. I'm going to guess from your laugh, Eilish, that was a nat one.
Sure was.
Yeah.
I tried to fire a crossbow at myself and failed.
Oh, you know what's even more fun? As the dagger goes through the air and the crossbow goes through the air, they both just cling against each other and scatter. So you managed to perfectly hit a dagger in the air, but not the thing you're aiming at.
Look at Ida and I'm just like, fuck. What?
Sorry. I thought you were just going with the sword and then you just threw the dagger and...
Henry, could you give me a death saving throw, please?
$11. Stabilized.
Stabilized. Nice. You have a stabilized Henry, but you do have a Fog Ida. Fog Ida, it is your turn if you want to do anything. And then it's the party against you guys.
I am going to attack real Sybil because she killed my friend Sybil, my fog friend Sybil. That is a 17.
Hits.
And that is a 5 damage.
Yes.
Doing okay. To set the scene, Henry is stable, but on the ground, covered in fog. This fog is trying to coalesce around them, get in them. You can see the beginning of fogs trying to make copies of Henry. Some are chairs, some are dwarfs. It's learning. Fog Ida seems to just be attacking anything it can see, just to get things. The logic being, if things are down, there might be a couple of seconds where we can learn about them and make them. As the standing members of this party, you look around, you are deep in the woods. You don't know where the song is coming from. Bernard, you're not sure at this moment in time if going deeper or escaping is the more tactical move. But you do have a member of your party, reluctant or otherwise, who is down. We'll, for the sake of pacing, kind of slow down out of initiative and take our time with this as if everything's kind of happening in slow motion. And we can be a little bit more narrative and dramatic and cinematic about how we describe these things. But as a group, knowing you're surrounded on all sides, knowing that you've been led deep into the woods and this woods is trying to make copies of you, you start to think, what happens if they leave the woods? What happens if the fog spills into the town? What happens if the fog has access to those you love, to the places you live? What happens if they can just coalesce? And you were all fooled by the fog. It's easy to see now that you know what it is, but at the beginning they were identical copies. You're not sure if you're going to make it out of this alive, knowing how deep you are in. But there's always a chance. It's always worth trying. What's going through your minds, and what would you like to do as we kind of bring this into a cliffhangery? I say close, I mean, we'll still play for like another 10, 15 minutes, but like, as we know that this is coming to its climactic act, as we know that this is where we're back in the bar, the story's being told, where the people who are telling it, they're not sure if the people who went into the woods are still alive out there. There's rumors that the fog is learning from us. It's trying to do something. There's rumors of seeing people disappear into the fog and not come back out, or come back out changed. It's where this rumor of a doppelganger, whether that is true or not, seems to have latched on to the villagers. They think the fog is here to replace them because it's spilling into the village of Canuck. They don't know why. They don't know what this fog is looking for. But everyone is avoiding it as much as they can. They felt it crawl up their skin as if it's curious, as if it's tasting's the wrong word, but sensing is definitely close to it. With Bernard, with Ida, with Sybil, standing over the body of Henry, Bernard, you're the leader. What would you want to do in this situation?
Good leaders delegate. So, or at least get the buy-in from the full party. So he's going to start the conversation as a leader would and say, we need to make a plan of action. Do we continue or do we take Henry back?
Sybil had already leaned down and had like has grabbed Henry and is like throwing him over her shoulder, and she's pretty much ready, and she thinks we should head back to the town and warn people because Henry is not in good shape and we need to heal him.
Okay. You're right. Reinforcements, I think, would be, and somebody with some sort of magical ability of any type would really help here. Yeah.
Nice. You pick up Henry, a dwarf, stout, sturdy, heavy, and you begin to run through the woods. You can feel the fog pooling around you, chasing you, almost creating oversized versions of yourself as it begins to chase. It's trying to slow you down. Huge hands coming out to grab you, big faces through the woods, rushing alongside you. Some are you. It's strange. You look to your left and right, and it's like as if made of waves. Is this galloping? You hear this clippy clop of like a horde of chairs, seemingly out of the fog, chasing after you. Majestic in their design and architecture. As the person carrying Henry, Sybil, can you make me either athletics, survival's also fine, nature's fine, anything that you think would help? Well, actually, what we'll do, this is a good idea. Let's use our good friend of the show and random DM, Dahi's skill check mechanic, where everyone gets to put forward something that their character would have and roll to see how it helps them in this situation. If anyone's unfamiliar with it, you can pick one of your skills, explain why it would help, and then roll for that skill to see if collectively we can get out of this alive.
Oh God.
I'm using my athletics.
Nice.
To be able to carry this big heavy old dwarf on my back while still maintaining the speed and the efficiency to get through this forest ASAP. Oh hell yeah, it's 22, baby.
Yes,
Never mind.
nice.
Nobody else helps.
You are setting a pace. You are keeping ahead of this fog, even as it begins to kind of try to get ahead of you. There is a nexus to it. It's where that music was coming from. You're wondering, you're kind of thinking, well, if I was fog, I'd just appear ahead of me. But it's almost like it has to send out the command to begin. And you feel these two chairs, the legs of them closing in like a gate, and you leap through it as it closes behind you and disperses, managing to avoid its grasp.
One of the little chair rests pops up, and I just like bounce it over it.
Yeah, you do that really cool thing that dancers do, where a chair appears and you leap onto it and then use it to like balance down, running out. Let's move to Ida. Ida, how are you helping in this situation?
I was going to say, could she use her survival to kind of clear a path ahead of her? Like if there's like trees and stuff in the way, she's just kind of clearing a path, because I assume that it's relatively overgrown. That is a 19. I didn't realize I had +5 to survival.
Wow.
I know, right? Whoops.
You are keeping points. You're also being able to direct the others, where as you see kind of fallen logs or kind of rusted and rotted patches, areas where the ground mightn't be as stable as you would think, you're warning people, you're shouting out saying, to the east, duck around, this way, over these hills, avoid the rocks, watch out for that gloop we passed earlier. As you're running.
Don't stand in that questionable surface.
Who knows
It
what
was
that is?
skin. It was skin.
Gross.
It was doppelgangery skin.
Lovely meat sack.
And Bernard.
I think I would like to roll for stealth to try get us out as quietly and avoiding the fog as much as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a
Covering your
10.
tracks. It's difficult to hide from what is obfuscation personified, essentially. You can't play fog in its own game here. It's like you're going to try hide from fog. Fog is where you hide. It knows all the tricks. So you are unable to avoid it. It's going to try and make an attack. This is the first dice I've rolled tonight.
Oh, well.
Yeah. They're the DMs. Yeah. It rolls a 12 to try hit. Bernard, does a 12 hit you? No. You feel it trying to slow you down. You feel it trying to grab you as this force of unnatural magic. And all of you burst dramatically through the thicket of threes and into, oh, hello, Raiders. Hi. Hello, Hardwired Tales. And thanks for joining us. We are, in classic raiding style, bringing this adventure to a close. However,
you missed it. The
VODs will be
chair.
available. Yes, we have had quite the adventure tonight, telling this. I wouldn't even call it an interlude story, but a story nonetheless. Where our main, sidebar in the bar, where we're finding out what is up with the Doctor's Woods and why is there a fog. So currently, just to catch you, anyone who's joining us now, the party, one of them is down. There is no healers in the group, but they have managed to stabilize with 3 death saving throws, and they're being carried on the back of Sybil. A human fighter is carrying a dwarf or a chair, depending on who's telling the story, out of the woods. They were trapped in this sort of mystical fog-filled woods. Beside them, another human fighter, Ida, being played by Eilish, and Bernard, who we've just been described as like a creepy boy. Human rogue, I guess. Is
a creepy boy.
Yeah, I'm picturing, and I mean no offense. I mean no offense to this actor, but very punchable face. Do you know Johnny Pemberton? I think that's his name, or Jimmy Pemberton. Plays Bo in Superstore. Plays one of the Soldiers of Steel from Fallout. Very punchable face, right? But also seems like an absolute sweetheart in real life.
I was thinking, like, if you Google George Russell, he's a Formula 1 driver.
Also, yes.
Isn't it funny? Because Bernard isn't really that bad in this one. It's just because we just remember him from the last campaign. We're just like, yeah, fuck this guy. He's been very sweet. He's just...
Bernard's been
He's had his moments tonight. I think he's done really well.
Yeah. Bernard is like earning their position as captain of the city guard tonight, in very much so, and getting people out alive. Yeah. So, in this situation, as this rolling, as this rolling fog coalesces around, and almost like early good mummy, this face in the fog is chasing them through the woods. Our party bursts dramatically out into the clearing, into the village of Canuck. The fog here is thinner. The fog here has died down a little bit, almost as if something near the trees is stopping it going any further, or as if it's happy just to let you go. You crash into your hometown. What would you like to do?
I swing Henry down from my shoulder and like into my arms and just check, is he still responsive?
Seems stable. A pulse. Low. No pocket money. A good old shake wakes you out of your stupor, and you have barely a HP. You've got a role-playable amount of points. Yeah. You're slipping in and out of consciousness.
Hey, boss. Do you know where your girlfriend is, and maybe she can do her magic on the dwarf? We've established that he's a dwarf now.
At this time of day, yeah, she's normally up at Byron's Keep, but there's just somewhere I need to go first, and he's going to run to his mother's store for his mom's comfort after a hard day.
Yes, and it has been. You're like, you left in the morning time, and it feels like it's like evening. You were out in the woods a very, very long time. You go looking for Rosemary Wall, Mrs. Berner's mom, for anyone who's polite, and you crash in the door of your store. Oh, Emma, your mic might be quite quiet.
Okay.
But you crash in the door of your store, and as you burst through, the room is empty. There's no furniture.
Oh God!
There's no people. There's no chairs. And you think for a moment, and how you burst through the door felt strange. As you take a step back outside and look back to your party, all of you look around the village of Canuck, and there's buildings missing. There's space for them. There will be buildings there at some point when the fog knows what's inside them and how to make them. As you look up into the sky and realize the direction of your village is the other way, and you've burst into a clearing where this fog is making another Canuck. And we cut back to the bar with the old lad around his point, and he goes, well, that's what they're doing. They're trying to build another city made of fog through the woods. Have you ever been through the woods? What's on the other side? You can never find out. So they're making us there, a carbon copy of us all. Look at it. And as the camera pulls back from the old mayor, we realize that the real village of Canuck, filled with people telling stories, is now entirely surrounded by fog, which is where we will end tonight's episode of Beyond Horizon's Edge.
Yay!
Nice job.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Thanks for playing. That was all.
That was cray.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Hopefully enough loose threats for I'll let you all know the what have you done to my it's like when someone came over and they've been eating ice creams and they use their game controllers and they unlock the controller and it's sticky and it's wrong.
No.
That's what I've done to Declan in your precious world.
It's covered in dust.
Yeah, like your cousin who doesn't have a games console and they don't know you need to wash your hands before getting your sticky little mitts on this SNES controller.
Seems like you've
thank
been
you so
hurt
much,
by
everyone.
this before, Ben.
Yeah, pulling from a real space. You can have the Game Shark one that no one cares about. Is that what that was called? The Game Freak controller, the turbo mode. Before I get distracted by my tangent on third-party controllers for systems that have not been made for 30 years. Thank you so much for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you, Raiders, for coming along for the end, for that kind of conclusion we were taking you through. This has been a D8 production. We will be back this week for Ben and Paul on a roll. That's this Wednesday at 7:30. We are going to be talking about two things. We have the first half of the show. We're going to talk about writers' rooms and creators who use TTRPGs as like a sandbox to test out ideas. So like if you have an idea for a script or a novel or a book, how playing games with your friends can often inspire where that story goes, but also how sometimes you need to let go of your own stories to let the true magic happen. In the second half of the show, we're going to talk about teching streams. So if you're a producer out there or you have your own stream and you want to know how Paul, who was the tech for Homebrew when we were doing that live, does it and all the little tips and tricks he's learned, he's going to share some of them on stream with us. After that, on Friday, there's a new episode of Romancing the Dungeon out. I'm almost certain. I feel like I didn't listen to one last Friday, so it has to be this Friday. And then the following week, I don't know our schedule after that. I do know that there won't be another on a roll this month in June. I have been swept away on a work trip and Declan is still away, so there's no one to roll with. So it feels weird to be like name a name that are at least one of us on a roll. So that's that. I suppose, is there anyone we normally raid? Is that the best thing to do next? Take the raiders we've gotten and pass them forward onto another show?
Sure.
Or,
I'm
dip
not
out?
logged into Twitch to do that. Eilish, are you?
Nope.
Nope. There will be no raiding.
Yes.
I
Well,
would love
I can
to,
see
sorry.
on my Twitch.
But if you can do it,
No, I can see we'll do an old organic raid. I suppose the way it works is that if you're not following these people, you get carried along with them. But I can see that Girls Run These Worlds is live right now playing.
Oh,
So if you
perfect.
just search on Twitch, Girls Run These Worlds, you'll find that they're live. And that's where I'm going to hop over after the stream. So
Amazing.
it won't be an official raid, but we can all just appear there in a moment's time and say hello. And say organic raid.
In a proper fog.
Nice.
Coordinated. That's, unless there's anything else we need to close the show out with, that's me done talking. So
Just a big
Good
thank you to
night.
Ben for a fantastic session.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ben. Thank you.
it's easy when the players are great. That's the.
Oh, shit.
I gotta stop streaming now. Thanks. Bye. Have a good week. Bye. Bye.